Jesus said, I and my Father are one. What I essentially am and what the universe essentially is are the same being, refracted into a multiplicity and diversity of objects and others, only through the limitations of each of our minds. But behind those limitations, there is this fundamental unity of being. The being in each of us borrows its apparently individual existence from that shared being. And that shared being is what is traditionally called God. Silence is the highest prayer because we cannot go from ourselves to God. We cannot make any movement from ourselves to God, because any movement from ourselves or away from ourselves would be a movement away from God. There is no pathway from ourselves to God. God is not at an infinite distance from ourselves. God is utterly intimate with. God is the very self of each of us. And because we are already that self, we cannot approach God. We cannot take a step towards God. Any step we take would be an apparent step away. In fact, we cannot even step away from God because we take ourselves with us wherever we go. So when we realize this, we realize that praying to God is simplistic. I don't mean to criticize it, because before Jane knows any better, it's all she can do, because Jane has this intuition. The ultimate reality is much bigger than myself, so she has this intuition, and because of her conditioning, she conceives God at an infinite distance from herself and supplicates. She prays to that God. So I'm not criticizing that. She doesn't know any better. But in time, her understanding is refined and refined and refined and refined until she realizes that the God that she has been praying to is the very self of herself. I cannot love thee because you are that love. You are at the origin of myself, you are never the destiny. You can never be a destiny. You can never be something I travel to. You are always where I travel from.
So is faith, or what I've called faith up to today, as sort of a surrender to the infinite consciousness?
Exactly. Exactly.
Just
yes.
As is.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it's the complete surrender of everything that seems to limit you. The complete letting go, the surrendering of everything that seems to limit you. And letting go, letting go, letting go, until you arrive at that element of yourself that you cannot let go of, your naked, self-aware being.